Hi everybody. So today I'm going to be answering questions from everyone back at home. I know I was supposed to post this video last week, but when I recorded it, I had some technical difficulties and the video was not able to be uploaded, to say the least. So I have to redo the video, and I hope that you like it. So we're gonna first start with a little bit about me and my site. As some of you may know or not know, I am a Peace Corps volunteer. I had training for about 2.5 months, and then I was sent to a site in the Far East, which leaves me in about 11 months in Mongolia now. So I work in a school in my IMAG center. An IMAG center is a provincial center for what we would consider a state. So this town is the main town for all the other small villages throughout the IMAG. And so we have a lot of accommodations, I guess you could say. Access to running water, access to reliable internet, access to, I guess, good food, more quality food, I'd say. So, I guess I'd say I'm a lucky volunteer for being here, but, some others would consider luck in a different meaning. But let's begin with the questions. The first question comes from Jonathan. He asks, what was the biggest challenge you have faced while experiencing a brand new culture? I would say one of the challenges I faced is communication, as maybe the communication is very difficult for me. Learning a new language from scratch, not even knowing the alphabet of the language is like I can't even explain how difficult it is. Even now I am still having some difficulty. So the challenge is communication. That's a huge factor, because you want to say a certain thing to people or say it in a particular manner that you know how to say. You know what to say in English, but even if you say it to them, they'll just look at you like, what are you talking about? So just as much as I'm confused when they talk to me, I'm pretty sure they are just as confused if I was to say something flat out in English. So for a while it was just like, team, or like da, just for like days on end. that was my communication most of the time, still is to this day, but that's because I got lucky with my teachers knowing English and a lot of the people that I work with knowing English. So the challenge has subsided somewhat, but when I leave my IMAG center and go to another village, or if I am shopping for food, it can be a bit it's not too difficult. I understand most of it now. Correct me, I do not understand a mother-loving thing, but the bits that I have caught on, I have come past that challenge. The next question he asks is, what are some difficulties you face? Difficulties such as being away from familiarity. That is the most difficult thing. Being in a foreign land, being in a I feel, okay, there was once my great aunt Nancy told me, it's as though you are going to another planet. She was so true in that factor, I can't even begin to explain. Because I've never been to an Asian country. Even I've never traveled this far in my life. So the difficulty is not being able to be near family, not being able to be near the comforts of home, or just like being able to run to your comfort, you know. It's a huge difficulty. As well as, like I said before, the communication can be a difficulty, a difficult thing sometimes, because you try to communicate to your students, and it's so hard when you're trying to teach English and they're trying to understand English, as well as vice versa. You are trying to understand the Mongolian and learn the Mongolian, and it's just like it clashes all the time. So it's so hard to, you know, get over that difficulty, I'd say. The next question is from my aunt, Isa. She asks, how do you think this experience will and has helped you? So at this point, I'd say that this experience has helped me greatly. It's made me grow patience. It's made me learn about a new culture, be engaged in a new culture, try to understand a new culture. And that is what exactly I wanted for the longest. And so I'm so thankful for that experience alone. And I think it will help me also be able to be more comfortable with people that are foreign to me. You know, I came here, you know, I didn't even like anyone touching me. I didn't want anyone seeing my body or any of that. But here's the story. When I first got to my training site and I met with my host family, my host mother, after we had our little dinner and she served me, I met everyone in the family and whatnot, she showed me into my ger. If you don't know what a ger is, it's a tent that is covered in wool and made of wood and is round to deflect wind. And that is what I lived in all summer. And she showed me inside. I'm unpacking all my stuff, whatever. And then she wanted to show me how to bathe correctly in the Mongolian manner of what we consider tumpening, which is this huge round basin. I mean, it's not huge. It's big enough to fill with water. And you are supposed to, you know, put your rag in, wet yourself outside of the basin. Some maybe will step in the basin, but I don't think that's appropriate. And you basically, you know, do the thing. Scrub yourself down, then rinse yourself down. And I had no idea how to do this. So she was showing me and she told me to strip down the top half of my body. And I was just like, oh, hell no. I can't do this. I don't know if I want this woman seeing me in this manner already. This is the first day that I met her. It was bananas. And I was just like, okay, let me get out of my head for a minute. Let me just allow her to do this, because there's just no way that she would be comfortable with me if I'm using things on the first day of meeting her, and she's just gonna be like, okay, she's not willing and she's not able to learn about my culture, she's not willing and able to learn about how we do things, so I'm just not even gonna bother with her. So I was just like, step back for a moment, took a breath, took my shirt off, and she showed me how to do the damn thing. And from then it was history. So I learned how to be comfortable around other people, even if I don't know them. Like, even among the volunteers, some of them act differently than me. Some of them are from different places than I am. None of us are the same. So, you know, learning how to be comfortable with others, learning how to open up with others, that experience has helped me, I believe. I believe it has helped me grow as a person. The next question she asks is, knowing what you know now, would you do it again? Yes, I would do it again because this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I just had to do it. I had to try to do it. I had to. No matter how difficult it was, no matter how different than what I thought it was going to be, the point is I have the experience. And now I can talk about it to my family back at home. The next question comes from Natalie. She asks, New York is a hub of different races. Do you think being from here has helped you learn to assimilate to Mongolian culture? Simple answer. Like, I don't think any of us, any of the volunteers who have come and gone, who are coming soon, who, you know, the future, whomever, I don't think any of us were ready for this experience or ready to assimilate to this culture. You know, I understand where the question is coming from, because in New York we have hundreds of, I don't even know how many cultures in one location. But I had never experienced the Mongolian culture in New York City until my very end days being there, when I went with my sister to a Mongolian restaurant for the first time before I even left. I don't think it helped me, no. Because being here and experiencing it firsthand, there's nothing that could prepare you for it. There's nothing at all. And I don't think in any Peace Corps country you could be prepared or, you know, have an easier time assimilating to the culture or assimilating to, you know, the country or how they do things. It's just, it did not help. Short answer, it did not help, no. Okay, next question is, do you think living in the apartment has taken away a bit of the experience you were expecting? No, I don't think it has taken away from the experience, because each volunteer experience is specific and special in its own way. Each volunteer experience is a snowflake among a snowstorm of volunteers. So the experience I get, even if I was living in a ger, wouldn't matter. It would be my special particular experience that I am learning from. The next question is, if you had to do it again, would you ask for a ger? No. No. I know when I was like speaking to who would eventually be my regional manager, I told him, I want to live in a ger. I want to live in a village of 1,000 people, because I had the experience of living in a city that is so big that I wanted the polar opposite of that experience. If I were to speak to my past self today, I think I'd slap myself straight across the face. Because from just experiencing living in the apartment and, having those accommodations, and then I have visited a ger in the winter time, in the dead of winter, and it was like an ice box. It was an ice box on top of not having plumbing inside the ger. You obviously cannot have plumbing inside of a ger. It would have to be in a jarkhan, or an outhouse, as we say in English. It was just so many things, so many factors. I know that makes me sound very like uppity or something, but just like, I think I would have quit if I had a different situation than I do now. Maybe I would have stuck it out, I don't know. But just from having to live in a ger, freezing in the dead of winter, if you can't, in the middle of the night, you can't get a fire going, or there's no wood, or the cold didn't come in this week, or you can't get water because the river's frozen, or the well is frozen, any of those factors. And then living in a village, you do not get the quality of food that you do in an IMAX center or living in a city. So it is very difficult to live in a ger in a village, and my heart goes out to those volunteers, because they are the true troopers, especially if they make it through their 2 years. If they make it through their 2 years without fault, they the real MVPs. They are the real MVPs. The next question comes from Michael. How has the Peace Corps changed your life forever? How has it changed my life? Well, it has let me see things in a different light. It has let me see America in a different light. It has let me see myself in a different light. It challenges me. It has tested me, even it only being 1 year. There's no words to describe how it has changed me. It has taught me patience. It has taught me understanding. It helped me to learn about a new culture and give me the experience of not being in someone else's shoes, but watching those people walk in those shoes. And I'm so grateful for that experience alone. The next question comes from my mom, Maria. She asks, what will you remember from Mongolia? At this point, I will remember the teachers that I work with, the volunteers that I work with, the people in the community, living this experience of a different culture, a different atmosphere, a different weather type, just having 18-hour days in the summer and 18-hour nights in the winter. It's just like, it blows my mind. It's just like a daily thing that I am constantly soaking up. And I feel like I will remember the entire experience, not just the small experience. I'll remember the whole thing, from the events that I've attended to the holidays that I've celebrated, everything. My host family, just all of it. The next question comes from Dana. She asks, how is your Mongolian? My Mongolian is trash. To put it simply, it is so bad. It's just, and the only reason why is because I haven't the need to really learn Mongolian more than the like simple phrases that I need to shop, the simple phrases to order food, things like that. I can do those things and I can understand a little bit more than I can speak, but to make a full form sentence is just an impossible feat. It's impossible. The other reason is because all my teachers speak English. All the people that I work with in the community speak English or know of English, and my students are learning English. So I am supposed to, teach them English. I can't speak to them in Mongolian unless we are out of the classroom. So I am constantly speaking English in this country. The next question she asks, do you get breaks to travel? Yes, I do. I'm actually coming to America this July. I'm visiting some family and friends for 22 days out there. And we get about 48 days in Peace Corps to have on vacations and to visit family and whatnot. But that's over your 2-year period. Okay? So the next question is, what food do you miss the most? All of it. All the American food. Everything. Just, being able to go to 1,000 different restaurants in the city, or having home cooking. All of it. I miss it all. All the food. Just, just can't even explain. My favorite food here. I don't think I have a favorite food here because I just like tasting the food here. I like everything here except gidis. Gidis is intestine, or anything that is inside, the body. I refuse to eat it. Anything that comes from the inside of an animal, I'm just like, just no, all day. Next question she asks, culture is ever moving and evolving. Do you feel your experience there has influenced your way of thinking in regard to social structures and political stance? Big question, loaded question. So, it has. I have changed my view on how I see America. I mean, not that my view is that different, because I was a history major, and learning history makes you see things in a different light. But being here has made me see how our culture is from the outside looking in, how people act, how people do things, how they need to have things now. And it becomes apparent. You can see it on Facebook, on Instagram, YouTube. It's just, we act very like we have to have our noses in the air in comparison to how the people live in Mongolia. They have a view of us that is not so nice. And part of our mission here is to show that not all Americans are like that. Most Americans are not as they think that we are, because of what TV portrays, because of what music videos and media portray. The videos that Americans who are famous put out does not give us a good name or give us a good worldview in comparison to what we think we are. Not everyone likes us, and we have to learn to understand that not everyone will. Even if you tell them and show them differently, hey, I'm not like that, they still have ingrained that we are. So, noticing that and trying to fight with their belief in our culture and showing them that we do things a little bit differently than what the media portrays is just this constant struggle. So when I try to fight it and then I look through Facebook seeing the complete opposite of what I'm fighting for, it's just like, oh God, it's just like there's no point, because there's thousands of people that just are so self-absorbed they don't realize what they put out into the world. So it has made me see things differently in that manner. And politically, no, just no. Like, not at all. Like, nothing has changed my view of the political stance that I've had. I'm not even living here. But socially, it has. That is all the questions I have for you today. I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So there will be more coming to my YouTube channel, so please stay tuned. Hope to see you soon, maybe this summer. Bye.